Hey there, history enthusiasts and curious minds. Today, we're delving into the world of high-stakes divorces, where love lost comes with a hefty price tag. From billionaires to business magnates, these divorces have made headlines for their jaw-dropping settlements. Join me as we uncover the most amazing top 10 expensive divorces in history, revealing the shocking figures and the stories behind these costly splits. Stick around to the end to find out which divorce ranks as the most expensive of all time. Let's dive in. Number 10. Craig McCaw versus Wendy McCaw, $460 million. Craig McCaw, the founder of Cellular and Clearwire, separated from his wife of 30 years, Wendy, in 1998. Just prior to the divorce, McCaw sold his company to AT&T for $11.5 billion, which earned his now ex-wife a $460 million payout as the former husband and wife fought it out in the courts of Washington state. Number 9. Dmitry Rybolovlev versus Elena Rybolovlev, $604 million. After 26 years of marriage, Dmitry Rybolovlev and his wife Elena opted to call it quits in 2008. After a 7-year court battle, the Swiss court ordered Rybolovlev to pay his ex-wife $4.5 billion. However, negotiations resulted in the final payout to work out at $604 million instead. Number 8. Adnan Khashoggi versus Soraya Khashoggi, $874 million. The now deceased Adnan Khashoggi was a Saudi Arabian businessman who sold arms for the Saudi royal family. In 1961, he married Sandra Dali, who later converted to Islam and changed her name to Soraya Khashoggi. As a married couple, they lived a lavish lifestyle that was once featured as an article in Time magazine. However, in 1974, the marriage came to a bitter end that saw Soraya awarded with an $874 million settlement. However, the ex-Khashoggi claimed out of that settlement she only received $2 million. Number 7. Harold Hamm versus Sue Ann Arnall, $970 million. Harold Hamm is an oil tycoon that was married to Sue Ann Arnall, whose $18 billion net worth became threatened when the couple filed for divorce in 2014. Although the majority of this money accumulated during the near 30-year marriage the couple had together, Harold argued most of that money was made passively before starting his relationship with his wife and felt she was not entitled to much of it. However, Sue Ann disagreed as she turned down the $975 million check that was issued from the divorce settlement. She made it clear she was entitled to half of that money. However, she eventually agreed to accept the money and leave the matter alone, at least for now. Number 6. Steve Wynn versus Elaine Wynn, $1 billion. It seems for Steve Wynn, who's a casino mogul, gambling on 2 different marriages with Elaine Wynn left him on the losing side of this costly bet. The two married the first time in 1963, but divorced in 1986 on what seemed like amicable terms. The two marry again in 1991 and stay married until 2010. However, the second split-up was anything but amicable. So far, Elaine's been awarded $1 billion in Wynn Casino stock, but the fight is far from over. The dollar amount involved with this particular divorce settlement has the potential to spike much higher if Elaine Wynn has anything to say about it. Number 5. Bernie Ecclestone versus Slavica Radic, $1.2 billion. Formula One executive Bernie Ecclestone was once upon a time married to a model named Slavica Radic. In one of the strangest divorce settlements on record, Ecclestone had set up a trust fund in Slavica's name that sees him receive $100 million per year from who is now his ex-wife. She was also ordered to pay Ecclestone $1.2 billion in the settlement. Number 4. Bill Gross versus Sue Gross, $1.3 billion. Co-founder of Pacific Investment Management Company, PIMCO, Bill Gross was also the manager of the Janus Henderson Global Unconstrained Bond Fund. When he and his wife of 31 years, Sue Gross, went to divorce court, this was a bitter fight to the finish. Anything and everything that could be contested in the settlement was. The couple had 3 pet cats, whom they fought each other for custody, that ultimately saw Sue win that fight, as well as the $35 million Picasso painting. She also walked away with a $1.3 billion settlement in 2017, which cut Bill Gross's personal net worth in half. Number 3. Rupert Murdoch versus Torv, $1.7 billion. Despite Rupert Murdoch and Anna Torv's relationship that saw 30 years worth of marriage and having 3 children together, this was not enough to keep the couple as husband and wife. In the beginning, the divorce proceedings were amicable enough. However, this changed when the executive chairman of News Corp (NWS) and co-chairman of Fox Corporation (Fox) decided to marry TV journalist Wendy just 17 days after his 1999 divorce from Anna Torv was finalized. This proved to be a costly mistake on his part, as she took from Murdoch a $1.7 billion settlement, which included $110 million in cash. Number 2. Alec Wildenstein versus Jocelyn Wildenstein, $3.8 billion. Although born in France, Alec Wildenstein grew up in America and became an art dealer and racehorse owner. His wife Jocelyn was a socialite who underwent frequent plastic surgery that ultimately earned herself the nickname of Catwoman, as each time she went under the knife, she'd come out looking more like a cat. When the two divorced in the mid-1990s, by the time the 2 years' worth of negotiations were over, Jocelyn received a $2.3 billion settlement plus a $100 million payout per year for the next 13 years. The final payout came when the math added up was $3.8 billion. This divorce settlement came with the agreement that Jocelyn Wildenstein was not to use the money on any further plastic surgery. Number 1. Jeff Bezos versus Mackenzie Bezos, $38 billion. When an extramarital affair interferes with a divorce, this is all the fuel the filer behind the divorce needs to go for broke as a means to get even with a cheating spouse. In the case of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, he learned this extremely costly lesson the hard way. His affair with his mistress, Lauren Sanchez, was exposed in 2018 that quickly saw Jeff's wife of 26 years decide to put an end to their marriage. At the time, Jeff Bezos had a net worth of $150 billion. In Washington state, the law has it Mackenzie was entitled to take half of her husband's money unless there was a prenuptial already in place. According to Business Insider, when the dust settled and Mackenzie Bezos was no longer wife to Jeff Bezos, she took $38 billion and still has 4% shares in Amazon stock, while Jeff's able to hold on to his 75%. Interestingly enough, it was not that messy of a divorce, as the former couple did part ways on a less bitter note than most who've experienced this type of situation. Now that we've explored the most amazing top 10 expensive divorces in history, we've witnessed the incredible sums of money involved in these high-profile splits. From billionaires to business moguls, these divorces remind us that even in the matters of the heart, financial repercussions can be monumental. Which divorce surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below.